Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Bava Metzia. We are up to Perek Aleph, Mishna Dalet. Today's Mishnah should be Leirun Nishmat Neria ben Svetlana Ranbai Veliyahu ben Burchai Israelov Chana ben Miriam Sason ben Ryan Yoshua ben Shifra Menuchatam beGan Eden Amen. Ravdi ben Chaim Lechaim v'derefua shelemav Daniel Shono ben Rosa B'toch Shah Cholei Yisrael D'achlama Me'era Binyamin Or Tzion Chai ben Dvorah. The Mishnah teaches which acts are effective for acquiring lost items that one may keep. If someone saw a lost item or any ownerless item and fell on it in order to acquire it, another person came and took hold of the item and lifted it, the one who took hold of it acquired it. Falling on an item is not considered a kinyan, therefore the first person never acquired it. Therefore, when the second person lifted it, he acquired it. Lifting is a valid kinyan, act of acquisition, as we learned in Mishnah 1. Now, there are certain semi-public areas known as simta, in which a person can acquire property simply by standing within 4 amot of the item he wishes to acquire. This is a rabbinic enactment known as the kinyan of 4 amot. If the lost item was in such a place and the person who fell on it acquires it as soon as he comes within 4 amot of it, and it therefore belongs to him. The Mishnah, however, discusses a case where the item was not in such an area, but in a regular public place such as a street. Therefore, he did not acquire it with the kinyan of 4 amot. Now, the Mishnah teaches that a person can sometimes acquire a lost item merely by the fact that it entered his property. If someone saw people running to take a lost item that was in his field. Now, the Mishnah speaks here of an object that is not alive. It cannot move out of the field on its own. Or he saw them running after an ownerless lame deer that had wandered into his field, or after ownerless young pigeons that cannot yet fly. And he said, my field has acquired them for me. Zachtalo. Then his field acquired these items for him, and the people running after them cannot take them. Since the lame deer and young pigeons cannot quickly escape from his field and are easy for him to catch before they leave it, they are considered to be held in the field. The Mishnah speaks of a case where he is standing next to the field and is able to run after the lame deer or young birds and prevent them from leaving the field. A person's property can acquire for him any item that is held securely in it. Now, this is known as kinyan chatzer, acquisition by courtyard. The Gemara learns from a verse that just as a person can acquire something by taking it in his hands, so too he can acquire something by holding it in his property. If the field was protected by a fence, even a healthy deer would be considered held in it since it could not escape. Our Mishnah, however, is talking about an unfenced field. In such a case, the deer is considered held only because it is lame and the owner of the field is standing nearby so that he can prevent it from leaving the field. In the following case, however, a person does not acquire the items in his field. However, if a deer was running through his field in its usual manner, meaning it was not lame, or young pigeons were flying in his field, and the Mishnah earlier discussed very young pigeons that could not yet fly. Here, the Mishnah refers to young pigeons that were slightly older and could fly, and other people were running to acquire them. V'amar zachtali sadin, he said, my field has acquired them for me. Lo maklum, he has said nothing, and the field does not acquire these items for him. This is because he cannot stop the deer and birds from leaving his field, and something that is not secure within a person's property cannot be acquired by him through his property. The deer does not actually have to be running or the birds flying to prevent his field from acquiring them. As long as the deer and birds are able to run or fly, his field cannot acquire them. Rather, whichever person chasing them reaches them first and performs a valid kinyan on them, acquires them. And that is then of Mishnah Daled. Mishnah discusses who keeps the lost or ownerless items that are found by the members of a person's household. Mitziat beno bito ktanim, the things found by someone's young son or daughter, or any child being supported by his father. Now, in the context of this Mishnah, the term katan, which usually means an underage child, one who is not yet an adult, refers to any child who is being supported by his father regardless of the age. On the other hand, even a very young boy is considered an adult in regard to this law if he supports himself. In the case of a daughter, even if she supports herself, she is considered a young child until the age of 12 and a half. And this is again how the Rav explains the Mishnah, is explained by the Tosfot Yom Tov. So again, the things found by someone's young son or daughter, any child being supported by his father, mitziat avdo v'shivchato kinaanim, and the things found by someone's Canaanite slave or slave woman, mitziat ishto, and the things found by a person's wife, arelu shelo, these belong to him. What a daughter under the age of 12 and a half finds belongs to her father under biblical law. From the time a girl develops signs of maturity, usually at the age of 12, until 6 months after that, she is known as a nara. We learn from a verse that when a girl is a nara, and certainly when she is under 12 and not yet a nara, all that she acquires, even her earnings, belong to her father. Similarly, what a Canaanite slave finds belongs to his master under biblical law. A Canaanite slave is considered the property of his master. Therefore, anything he acquires is also the property of his master. In the case of a wife and a child being supported by his father, the rabbis instituted that what they find belongs to the husband and father in order to prevent bad feelings between them. Since the father is supporting this child, he might feel resentful if he does not receive in return the valuables that his child finds. This might cause him to stop supporting the child. The rabbis therefore instituted that he should receive the things that his child finds. Similarly, since a husband provides food for his wife, he might be resentful if he does not have rights to the items she finds, and this could lead to marital conflict. The rabbis therefore decreed that he should receive these things. Metzia beno bito agdolim. However, the things found by someone's adult son or daughter who support themselves, or a son of any age who supports himself, Mitziat abdo v'shivchato ivrim, and the things found by someone's Hebrew servant or maid servant. A Hebrew servant is a Jew who was sold as a servant for a fixed amount of time. Although he has an obligation to work for his master, he is not considered his master's property. Mitziat ishto shegersha af al pi shonatan ktubata, and the things found by a person's wife whom he has divorced, even though he has not yet given her ktubah, the money due to a wife when she is divorced to her, harelu shelahen, these belong to them, not him. This is because even under biblical law, a father has no rights to his daughter once she reaches the age of 12 and a half. Nor are Hebrew servants considered his property, and once a wife has been divorced or a child has become self-supporting, there is no further concern for resentment, so the rabbis do not award the fines of these people to the father or husband. The Mishnah refers to a case where the woman received the get in a way that makes it unclear whether the divorce took effect. In such a case, the husband is not obligated to pay the ketubah, but if he chooses not to pay it, he must continue supporting her. The Mishnah teaches that although normally a husband who must support his wife receives her fines to prevent bad feelings between them, here that is not a consideration, since there are in any case bad feelings between them. And that is on about today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.